Good morning, everybody. 8 a.m., June 24th. Welcome to my channel. Now, yesterday, we gapped down, okay? And we swept the overnight lows in both markets, NASDAQ and NQ and ES, right? And then we ripped up. However, that was all it could muster. And then we sold off, but never breaking the low again, right? So, yesterday, this is a typical behavior on a big gap down. And big gap downs are they're not easy to trade. Okay. Now yesterday I had a nice long. Okay. It was pretty much easy peasy. I had no heat and then I hit my target. And that was it for the day. Now I did have a long off the open. Let me see if I can show you guys this. Yeah, I'm going to show you. Right here. I said this pre-market. Let's see if I can break this out just to show you. All right. This is the price action. You can see we opened here. We swept the overnight lows. That's the overnight session, right? And that was the key level. And I I was waiting for a pullback to it. I just didn't get it. But then it just exploded. And where did it go? Remember I talked about that 50% retracement of the overnight session, right? It only could muster a little up into this bearish for value gap. And then we just kind of ranged from there. So for myself, not bad, 2R, 200% return, however you want to call it. Okay, but I did have that trade I was looking at, and then I was looking to short when we were having trouble. And it was grinding. That would have worked as well. So overall, I could have had 3 winners yesterday, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. This morning, the Kospi, the South Korean market rebounded a little bit. Now, one of the large semiconductors for memory is this SK Hynix in South Korea. They're going to be on the U.S. exchanges July 10th. Just another big heavyweight probably coming into the markets. Okay, that's something to be aware of. And this morning, it's a barcode out there. Okay, there is nothing really going on. Okay, now S&P 500 yesterday, SPY hit the 50-day moving average. So do futures. So that's another reason I went long. Okay, genuinely, when you touch that 50-day, people take some profits, and you generally get a bounce. All right, and then you can see the Nasdaq, the QQQ is relatively stronger. It's not even applied. It's 50-day moving average. So we're just in this mess right now. Okay, we're in a mess, and we'll trade accordingly today. Okay, now yesterday, I'll show you this here. This is gamma levels here. Now the white is the weekly gamma flip point. The yellows are the monthlies. So you can see yesterday we finished back in negative gamma in the QQQ for the week and for the month. SPY is a negative gamma for the month and for the week. And I have SPX as well. SPX weekly gamma flip point. Notice that was resistance yesterday. And it's a negative gamma as well. So I expect a little wild movements again earlier on. Okay, because you can see the market ripped up, ripped back, ripped up, ripped back. See, that's the kind of price action you get. Okay. So, that being said, let's get into it. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets along with supply and demand. Gamma exposure level is the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. That is managed. That's how I come up with game plans. Once the market opens up, I use my market internals, and I want to see where money flows off the open. Okay. Very important. Anchor VWAP, my weekly expected move indicator you get for free in my Discord. You also get my Gamma Flip points for free in my Discord. Okay, a little ICT, and basically my own proprietary trading system. Okay, my edge, my big edge is usually knowing what a market's capable of. I would say that's a very big edge of mine. Okay, knowing the story, knowing the regime that we're in. Yesterday, what happened? Well, a bunch of people in South Korea hit circuit breakers, okay, which took our markets down. It wasn't necessarily some kind of crazy, fundamental, horrible thing. It just, money was in Korea, right? Margin calls happened. Okay. Now, when you have a huge gap down like that, right? And then you sweep the overnight lows. I said yesterday, I said I believe the high and the low is in. And that's what happened, right? So then you got to trade accordingly. Okay. I believe that's my asset. So when you watch me live, there's pretty much nothing I haven't seen or how a market's supposed to behave. And the edge is knowing the probabilities of what the market's going to do. Okay. And I'm getting a lot better this year, in particular, of waiting to know the story and to execute a trade and be patient and only enter when I think my probabilities line up, not FOMO entering. Okay. In the past, I would always get the story right, but I was not as patient for a setup. I was like, I know this is going higher, and I would just be foaming at the mouth waiting to go long or foaming at the mouth waiting to go short. And then what would happen is I'd get in too early, I'd get stopped, and then the market would move where I thought it would. Okay. Now I'm not doing that. Like yesterday, I was talking to one of my good friends in my community. I was saying my Achilles heel in the past used to be, ooh, I like this long, and then it works. Like yesterday, I like this long. I almost entered, worked. I almost entered a short, it would have worked. But then it didn't. That didn't matter to me. I waited for my setup to go long, and I nailed it, and then I made money. Right. In the past, I wouldn't have been able to be patient for the third trade because I've already would look like I lost. I lost. I should be up. I'd be fixated on it, right? So there's always growth to be made in trading. Okay, and I'm feeling like I'm making a big step in my trading as probably this year, but in the last couple of months, into really, really waiting. Okay, and when you wait, good things happen. Okay, that's really what happens. Now, hopefully, you join me every morning. Subscribe to that alert. Give you the market story, economic calendar, market news, technical analysis, and I always give you the long, short trade scenarios in the Nasdaq and the ES futures later on in the stream. Okay. Now, if you want more in-depth coverage, you're going to join my Discord. It's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Let me be your indicator. Okay. I mean, I'm dropping golden nuggets every day. I don't know, some of my community members are watching me right now, but they can attest that my technical analysis or how I'm looking at the market is not just support and resistance. Okay. I can usually say, hey, internals look like this. We just did this. We probably are going to do this. Pretty accurate on a daily basis. And then you can go to my Discord. Okay. And I have receipts. All right. I have a thing called daily receipts where you can see my calls pre-market and how they line up. And then I have every day I talk about what's going on in the market and if I traded it or if I didn't trade it. Okay. So it's time stamped. You can see, what I'm saying. Okay. So the receipt is there. Now, let's move on to futures. Watch list here. Ethereum, almost up 1%. Bitcoin, up 0.63. Nasdaq's up over 0.5%. 30-year bonds are being bought, just 10 yields lower. Russell is up 0.36. ES up 0.30. Okay. Dollar's up 0.27. Remember I said that dollar's breaking out. It's not a good thing for equities. Okay. Dow is pretty much flat. 10-year yield is down over 0.5%. Gold just continues to get hammered because why? The dollar is moving up. Okay. Down 2.20%. Almost down to 4,000. Crude down almost another 3%, down to $71 a barrel. So this is starting to go, back to normal. I'd say when we get into the 60s to $50 a barrel, that will be back to normal. Okay, this will be a distant memory eventually. Even though I saw this morning that Israel's not going to leave Lebanon, even if the U.S. requests it. Okay, VIX down 3.18. Silver continues to get hit with this dollar strength, down 4.30%. Looking at the Mag 7 Plus here, Micron is up almost 5% this morning. Remember, earnings are after the close today. Micron's earnings are after the close today. AMD up 1.38, Coinbase up 0.75, Nvidia's up 0.69, Caterpillar up 0.60. Okay, now, who's lagging? Really, it's just Microsoft, down 0.81. Software continues to get a little hit. Okay, software continues to get hit. Look at Palantir. Whew, that thing's getting destroyed lately. ServiceNow, same thing. Okay. I'm noticing this is like almost cut off a little bit here. Let's see here. I have to fix that. Apologize for that. Now, moving on. Now, GE Vernova is up 2.13% today. So data center build outs are looking pretty decent. Qualcomm's up 1.16. Who's lagging today? Chevron down 0.85. Exxon down 1.24. Palantir down 1.71%. That is a dog right now in the mining stock. NEM is getting crushed, down 2.90%. That is that dollar strength. Okay. So, moving on. Sectors. Semis up 1.12% today. All right. Technology up 0.79. Discretionary 0.16. Your laggard today is energy. Your laggard today is energy. Okay. Moving on now. Let's go to the economic calendar. Okay. 30-year mortgage rate today went down slightly, 0.01. Previous 6.6. Today, 6.59. We have new home sales at 10 a.m. today. Fed Bank stress test results at 4. Crude inventories at 10:30. New home sales doesn't generally move the market at all. Okay. Now, let's see if the juice has anything for us. Looks like Trump just said inspectors to be allowed where Iran's uranium is. Trump, no rush getting inspectors into Iranian sites. U.S. stocks stage a modest rebound as investors look ahead to Micron Technology results, right? That's what we know is coming. So today, let's look at Trump's schedule here. It says 12 p.m. President signs the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. 1 p.m. President attends the Senate Steering Committee lunch. Okay. Now 8 a.m. it says President participates in executive time. He's talking now, so he's putting some stuff out there. Let's look at anything here. See, this is that SK Hynix. Okay, it just moved on me. There's that SK Hynix shares gain after unveiling $29 billion ADR plan that they're going to be on an exchange July 10th. Okay. Any more news? U.S. Iran at odds on nuclear inspections. Frozen assets in deal to end war. FedEx drops a margin hit. Trump to meet munitions makers amid push to replenish weapon stockpiles. China approval for Eli Lilly GLP-1 pill to come as soon as 2026. Let's see here. Looks like FedEx Jeffries cuts target price to 360 from 450. That's really all there. Okay. Now, why don't we look at our little bit of breadth here. Let's check out the breadth today. Now that communication sector. I'm eyeing that up. I told everybody I'm eyeing that up, okay? So let's look at some breadth measurements. So far, it's been very middling. Percentage of stocks over the 20 days, even which still at 55. It's still middling, right? I'm assuming the 50-day is going to be the same. 60. So it improved yesterday. Interesting. It improved yesterday. Okay. Now, bullish percent index, S&P. How did we do yesterday? Oh, got a little worse. All right, but still middling, 52% on buy signals. NDX, remember that was in the 40s. I'm assuming this is going to be a lot lower today. Yeah, 41. Infotech, this should be down too a little bit, 45% on buy signals. Let's see the financials. Financials took a little bit of turn down yesterday, and then the one I'm really looking at is communications. Okay, that's starting to get oversold. Now, Google entered the fray. Okay, so if we start to push down even lower, like I said, I have alerts set. I'm going to take a stab at a long in the communication sector. I'm possibly looking at Google, possibly as a proxy, or just the XLC ETF, maybe in a stock trade. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Let's just check one thing I haven't checked in a while, the AAI survey. So let's see the bulls. How much percentage are bulls? 36% are bullish. Let's see the bears. All right, 39%. All right. I just wanted to check in to see what that was at. That's the investor sentiment. Now, let's go to one more chart here. Let's refresh this. Let's do, okay, let's do this. Let's go with the new pane. Okay. So here's my spread, core 3M minus the dispersion. Okay. Yesterday, the day before, so let's pull this back. So when this starts to revert, the market goes down. Okay. When this pushes down, the market goes up. So basically, a stock picker's market is when you're at these extreme low levels. Now, see how we're at this extreme level. If we continue to rise, okay, maybe we take out this little high here. I'm probably going to go short on the market. Okay, we're at extreme levels. And you can see our S&P 500, we're not going anywhere. We're really not. Okay, so I really got my eye on this because the dispersion is very high. I don't know what just happened here. Oh, it just went wacky on me. Cancel. All right, dispersion here. Very high levels. All right, very, very high levels. Okay, look at pounds here real quick. Woof. Woof. And it continues to fall. Man, this can fall all the way down to the 90s. So, poof. All right, service now. Let's see where that is now. I don't know why this is taking so. This is, yeah. So this has just been a dog as well. Look at that move all the way up to 140. Everybody probably thought, oh my God, I myself, I owned it at 100 at one point, and I was like, ah, man, I missed it. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. And Micron today, okay, Micron's been parabolic, but now look at it. It's still, it's up. It's up. It's right here. What do we do? This is pretty, the memory area with SanDisk and Western Digital and Intel, and they've been holding the markets up pretty much. Okay? Important thing is that dollar. That dollar. Look at the dollar. Big consolidation, and it's breaking out. That's why metals are not doing so hot. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to those market internals. Boom. Okay, so on days like this, negative gamma, the market internals are not as reliable sometimes because this move up was very strong. Market was green all across the board, right? And then look at that. Took right back. But that's where I got long. I got long right about here. Right on this pullback. I took my target right around here. Okay. That was a pretty easy trade. Just the way it didn't give me any heat. It literally hit, I got in, and it really never was negative on me. It just pushed up. Now, why was that? It's because these internals were never weak. So this is part of the story I talked about on why I put the trade on. Okay. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, internals are not weak. And I've seen this before. Like I said, daily chart, SPY hit the 50-day moving average, big gap down. Okay. Internals were strong. We're not falling. We're not. First chance to get, you're going to probably get bought up, and it did. And you had poor structure here. So that's the internals. Like I said, pretty much, remember, this is off the open. This is where it's important, right? Because if you looked at the market yesterday and you don't have off the open numbers, you have what's previous day's close, everything would be bloody red. You don't know what's driving the market off the open. Very key. Very key. All right. Dailies. Let's do it. Let's go to the daily charts. Now, so we came down here, kind of have like an inverse hammer here, right on a 50-day. Now look at my indicator here. The weekly expected move to the downside, 728. So we bounced off the 50. Where are we now? 736, 70s. Unfortunately, this is a garbage area. All right, you're literally a little above yesterday's midpoint, 50% retracement. Let's look at futures. Okay, so futures, what did we do? 50-day moving average. We did not take out yesterday's lows. Okay, we're trying to get back into last week's range. Okay, now you have a daily supply here. 75.11s, 75.11s. Okay, that, my friends, we'll have to see, is going to cause problems. Okay, that is not going to be easy to churn through. Do we do it? I don't know. Okay, do we do it? I don't know. This is very heavy volume. I showed you guys yesterday. Okay, cues. So we broke that trend. Okay, boom. Made a new weekly range here, right? Expect to move to the downside, 706, 64, right? So we tried to go into last week's range yesterday and came right back into a new weekly range. Okay. Where are we now? 718.90s. You are at, my friends, right above yesterday's midpoint. Right above yesterday's midpoint. Not a great area. Okay, let's look at futures. Alrighty. Now we have a daily supply zone here. Let's just add that to the chart. It's a pretty big area, but we're going to add it. Boop. Let's change that color. Alrighty. There's our daily supply. That starts around 303.35s. 303.35s. Like I said, we're not near the 50-day moving average. Like, it's just been relatively stronger, right? Okay. Okay. Now there is a daily demand here that had a gap. I mean, you can put a daily demand here, and if I do it, let's just do it. What I'm going to show you here is another thing that I like to see. I mean, these are not connected, but it kind of is like, okay, you consolidate it and then boom, big move up, right? Look at the daily demand getting bought right now. If you have a daily supply and a daily demand, guess what's going to happen? Chop. It's going to be hard to go down. It's going to be hard to go up. Okay. It's just what's going to happen. And this, my friends, is a little balance range we could be forming, right? Highs at the 309.55s, lows at the, 295s, call it. Okay, big range, but it's just a lot of trading activity here. And if we look at it, really, what do we have going here? It's basically, yeah, it's basically we're just in this area of trading, right? So get ready. This could go all the way up here somewhere today. I don't know. Remember, Micron's earnings. I don't think the market's going to do something crazy before that. Okay, let's move on. Hourlies. Here's our hourly charts. You can see trading's been very subdued. Okay. And of course, for the wedge fans out there, that's not a good wedge. Basically, we're doing this, right? Compressing price. And we're going to do that, or we're going to do that. Pretty simple. Okay. You can see yesterday's low so far is the knife in the ground for the ES. Right there. Okay. And then we just been kind of making higher lows. Now, we're going to try to break out of this area here. Okay. Remember where we came up yesterday. Okay. So we have the week to date anchored VWAP right there. Sellers are on control. I have an anchored VWAP set to this big selling candle. It's pretty much here as well. Now you have an unfilled gap above us. Okay, so if this market can really catch a bid and start to take out that high of yesterday, and you have that gap, as long as you find acceptance in this gap, we probably will come up and touch the 75.27s. Now, to the downside though, don't have the best structure down to here around 73.80, so we can move down too. Okay, it's really what I'm looking at here in the ES. Now, Nasdaq and Q. Now, NASDAQ does have a supply zone here that we're in right now. Same thing. Now, you could say this is what? An ascending triangle, right? So you got this kind of action going, and you got that equal highs going here, right? Generally, you look to break out of that. Don't know if that happens. Okay. Now that big unfilled gap here from that Kospi circuit breaker in the South Korean market. Yesterday, you still have two bearish for value gaps up here. You have the week-to-date anchor view up right here, 301.94s. You have the month-to-date anchor view up here, 301.112. Okay. Or 301.12, I'm sorry. Then, see, the difference is this consolidation from the past held the market yesterday in this demand zone. Okay, now you do have an equal low down here. That level, 29577. So be on the look at that. That's probably going to be a draw on liquidity if we do go lower. Okay, and now if you break around the 29526s, another equal low, we're probably going to drop lower. Okay, but I don't know. Okay, we're just coiling up to see what we do. There's last week's lows is the 29922s. So a lot of liquid levels here. Now again, if this market can catch a bid and really accept price back over this level, over the 30,000s, right? And we find, this gap, we're gonna eventually move higher. But I don't know. Remember, resistance in this area would be bearish. Okay. That's your NASDAQ. Let's go to the market profile, volume profile. And look at this together, folks. This is your market profile and your volume profile. Our preferred way to come up with the game plan here. Okay. So right off the bat, we're inside yesterday's session. So here's yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows. Here's the overnight highs. No, I'm sorry, lows, overnight highs. We have a very balanced profile on the overnight. So it doesn't give us a lot of edge. Okay. All I know is most likely the overnight high and overnight low are going to be very pivotal today. They're going to be very pivotal. Okay. So now, one thing to note. Most traded price of the week is currently 75.43. It's right here. You can see the high volume node here in that volume profile, right? Well, we got another candidate here around the 74.43s was the most traded price of yesterday. So this is how you can tell if the bears can put a little feather in their hat. Meaning, here's price down here, right? 74.60s. Value is up here at 75.43. That's the most traded price of the rolling week. If price can take value and move it down, say we move this most traded price of the week lower today, that is bearish. Okay, now if price cannot pull value down, what happens is price returns back to value. Okay, so let's get into scenarios here for the ES. And we will break out the session. There it is, a bunch of little crowded trading. So remember, our pivotal areas this morning is the overnight highs and lows. Okay, it's really all it is. Okay, so since I'm equal here, we'll just start with shorts. Okay, so we just breached the overnight highs just recently. Okay, so what do I want to see? Okay, key areas is going to be, and you have yesterday's value area high 74.74, right? That kind of lines up with the prior week's lows. So this area here is going to be key. Okay, so what I want to see if I'm short, I want to be short. I want to see a push up to overnight highs, come into the yesterday's value area high, okay, and last week's lows. Any resistance in here with a lower high, you go short. You're going to target overnight lows, 74.20s, and then 74.15s, yesterday's lows. And do you finally take out this bearish for value gap here? Okay. That would make you down to 73.84s. Not using the overnight highs and yesterday's value area high, okay? Now, we could still use yesterday's highs. Now, I prefer this one, but if we did push up high very quickly, come right up to yesterday's highs, go into the gap, into the week to date anchor view up is right here as well. You find resistance, retest the 74.90s, you short that as well. And you target overnight lows, 74.20s, 74.15s. That's what I'm interested in as far as shorts. Okay, longs, let's do it. Longs, what do I want to see? Well, there's a different long strategy here. I like to use overnight VPOCs just like yesterday. Okay, the overnight VPOC is 74.46, right there. Okay, and then you have yesterday's most traded price, 74.43. So one thing I'd like to see, okay, is if I want to be long, let's say we push up and get a pullback right to the overnight VPOC and yesterday's VPOC. And let's say it holds. Whoop, you go long. Okay? Target the high day. Then you go target the 74.91s, yesterday's highs, and see if you can eat into that gap to 75.28s. And this might be ambitious to fill that gap. Okay? Now, what else do we look for? Well, if I get a strong sell-off, taking out the overnight lows, and then we breach the 74.15 yesterday's lows. Okay, two ways here. Either you breach that, come back into range, a lower high, you go long. Okay, target overnight high 74.67, yesterday's high 74.91s. Or we can also very quickly pierce into this bullish fair value gap. Remember, bullish fair value gap and has demand zone here. Any support inside of here, okay, is bullish. If you do not complete and take out the bullish fair value gap, this is bullish. You wait for that higher low and you go long. Okay. This time I'd probably target right 74.43s and then see if you can go higher. Okay. That's it, my friends, for the ES. NASDAQ. Very crowded trade right there. Okay, very different looking profile than the ES. Let's get into the long and short trade scenarios in the NASDAQ futures. Let's break out the session. Okay, so a little different here. This demand held. We are in a supply zone. This makes it right off the bat not a very unbelievable trade to have here. Demand that's holding, supply that's holding. Okay. And that's what these drawings tell me. That's the beauty of having a system, right? Those drawings tell me a lot, right? It's a battle. It's a battle. Now, remember I said we have that ascending triangle pattern. That's generally a bullish pattern. Okay. Maybe it gets taken out. Does that mean I'm going to be bullish for the, it's going to fill the gap? No. All right. But we also know we're inside yesterday's range. So the overnight highs, 29891s, along with value area high of yesterday, 29867s, becomes an area that, we could break out, right? We could break out. And now you have a very, very, remember I said this equal low, is it going to be a draw on liquidity down here if you take a move to the downside? You have pretty much equal lows here. I call them confluence lows. Yesterday's lows and the overnight lows are basically equal. Okay? If the market takes a downturn, we are going to hit those levels. It's a matter of time. Okay? Do we hit them? I don't know. But just mark them down. They're very important levels. Okay? So, and we have kind of an equal high here, right? 2891s. So, either you break out here, the ascending triangle, break down here below these equal lows. Okay? Now we're at the midpoint of yesterday's range. Horrible trade location. Just bad. Okay? Very bad. Now you do have more of a bullish imbalance to the profile in the overnights. Remember, you had a very balanced profile in the ES. Right? So this looks like it wants to break up to the upside a little more. Does it happen? I don't know. Okay? Let's get right into it. All right, I am going to say, yeah, we're going to start out with a bull side. Okay? So, remember, we're making higher lows. We have these equal highs. That's, like I said, the ascending triangle. So, just basically that pattern, right? So, generally bullish. Doesn't mean you go all out of salt. Now, the overnight VPOC, okay, the overnight VPOC is 29819s. Yesterday's most traded price is 29850, let's call it. I'm going to use that as well in this analysis. Okay. So, what am I going to look for? Even if we pull back, okay? If we pull back, right? Let's say we pull back, right? It doesn't mean anything to me until we take out the overnight highs. Take out this supply. Let the market take out the supply for me. I don't want to fight that. Then, if we get a pullback, 29858 area, which is yesterday's most traded price, and right below that's the overnight VPOC. If you find support here, you go long. Okay, you're going to target yesterday's highs. I think that's the 346s. Okay, there's a bearish value gap there. Now, this is the gap. This is where you can really start to really push higher. Now, that means that tech's got to be getting love, right? But if you do, this is all poor structure. Fill in the gap is 305. I don't know if that happens, okay? I do not know. I'd say 303 is a realistic target as well. Okay? Now, remember, we have the equal low down here in the NASDAQ. So, I would like a very quick sell-off here when we open. This draw on liquidity right here. Remember, it's the 29581s to the 29577s. They're still in demand, right? If we swept that, hit this support here, around a little above the 295s, right? And we find acceptance back inside. Lower high, higher low, I'm sorry. Woo boy. You go to that 2891s, the overnight highs, then you go to yesterday's highs, 346, and see if you can eat into that gap. 303s. Okay. Shorties. Shorties. Let's talk about the shorties. All right. Now, a couple things here. What would I like to see? Well, what if we get that push up, break that ascending triangle? But guess what? That's last week's what? Lows. That might be a liquid level. People are like, you know what? I'm cool. I was long from the lows here. I'll take my profits. And we sweep that with, guess what? a lower high. Now you have longs on notice here, and guess what your target's going to be? That equal low. Okay, yesterday's lows, overnight lows, 295.81s to 295.7s, and you go to look to get to that 295s. Now, if this 295 breaks and the market is weak, look to go all the way down to this bullish value gap around the 293 area. Oof. Okay, that would be a very nice trade. Okay, that's my preferred short. Now, what else can happen? Well, if we push up higher, right, go into and break into yesterday's highs. And now remember, there's bearish for value gaps up here, and there's a gap. Any resistance in this area, okay? Put a wick in, go back into range, lower high, that's a short. You target the 29850s, that's around the most traded price of yesterday, and then see if you can hit that equal low, all right, that I talked about. Okay, any farther up in there, and you also have the week to date anchor view up at 302s. You have the month to date anchor view up at 301.25s. So you do have anchor VWAPs above you. Okay, that's what I'll be looking for today. Now, as far as I'm going to give you my summaries for the day, overall outlooks. Okay, so ES, what am I looking at? We have a balanced profile in the overnight. Okay, balanced profile doesn't give a ton of edge. It's equal buyers and sellers in the overnights. We're inside yesterday. We're at the midpoint of yesterday. Not the best location. But remember what I said. Overnight VPOC is going to be very important. The 7445 area. Okay? The 7445 area. And that's yesterday's most traded price and the overnight VPOC. That could be support. Okay? It's a little mini bear bull line. That's what I'm looking at. Okay? Remember, overnight high and low is important. Overnight high and low is the levels we're going to be concentrating on in the ES. In both markets, really. Now for the NASDAQ, remember we have that ascending triangle pattern, which is a bullish pattern. We have a bullish imbalance in the profile, which supports the ascending triangle, but we're in supply that's getting resistance. We have demand that's been getting support. We have an equal low, okay? Yesterday's lows and the overnight lows. That's a very big level. That's going to be a draw on liquidity. It's going to be the prices are going to be attracted to that low if we move there. Okay? The 2891s in the upside is pretty equal highs. Okay? So again, overnight highs and overnight lows, very important. And what do we have in both markets? Big gaps above us. Okay? Does this become a new balance area, or today do we just catch a bid and we take out the gap? I don't know. But remember, any resistance in a gap above us is pretty much bearish, because remember, it's a void in price. All right. Now, if you enjoyed that analysis, please smash that like button. That would be much appreciated. Okay. As always, I do this every morning. Hopefully you can join me. Subscribe, set that alert. Okay, give you the market story, the market news, economic calendar, technical analysis, and I just gave you the long and short trade scenarios and the ES and the NASDAQ futures. Okay, if you want more in-depth coverage, you are going to join my Discord. That's Confluence Trading. Go to my YouTube homepage, click on the link, and sign up. What are you waiting for? Let me be your indicator. Okay, I should be going live at 9:45 a.m. today. Okay, please come join me. I will not steer you wrong. Trust me. Okay, I just will not steer you wrong. All right, now we have our plans. I like the plans. Just got to be patient. Okay, let the market show its hand. I like the market to show its hand, like if we're in poker and you're watching it on ESPN World Series of Poker or something, and you see everybody's hand. That's what I like to see in the market. Show me the hand, the hand, the hand. Very early on, yes, you can catch a trade, but you just don't know the story yet. You don't know what's driving markets. It's so early. Now, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, I'll see a setup. But I generally like to see, okay, let's see what's going on today. So I like the plan. I like to see more cards, right? So that's what I'm looking at today. Okay. Now remember, we're inside yesterday's session. Overnight high and lows are important. Okay. Now, now remember, no trade is a trade. No trade is a trade. Okay. Hope everybody has a great day. If I don't see you in my Discord, I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Take it easy.